So what did you think of Inception?
What Inception had over its peers zeitgeist-defining films such as The Matrix and Avatar was that the camera tricks were for the most part in service to the film's guiding idea. This idea was, in my opinion, a promising one that was at least technically realized. I pity the jaded souls unable to be genuinely delighted by this film, or unable to at least admit that they were. The film displayed a sort of imaginative virtuosity that merits sincere appreciation, even gratitude.
And yet, Inception's Pop Dawkins and hand-me-down Freudianism left us not swimming in the depths, but splashing in the shallows of the collective human experience. Which is to say, the film constructed the architecture of the subconscious, but seemed at a loss as to how to properly inhabit it. The New York Times reviewer A.O. Scott understood this, complaining that director Christopher Nolan did not give his characters a rich enough inner life. Yet the same reviewer suggested that such an enrichment might have been achieved with the unruliness that would accompany a more thoroughgoing Freudianism. Not by a long shot. We have more than enough unchecked animal impulses in our movies already.
Clever. But have you considered the anticipations? As he did for Avatar, C.S. Lewis foresaw the better components of Inception. Not in the space trilogy, of course, but in The Great Divorce. The somewhat parallel themes of The Matrix, incidentally, were not anticipated by Lewis, seeing that they weren't worth anticipating at all. All this is to say, navigating the subconscious, and the hells we create therein, was a Christian theme long before it was a Freudian one, and Inception suffers from chronologically stunted conceptual poverty. That is right. You heard me. I'll say it again. Chronologically stunted conceptual poverty.
Agreed. How much more interesting, how much richer, might the film have been had Nolan read the medievally inspired limbo of The Great Divorce, some Augustinian death psychology, or just some Dante? We needed a Virgil or, even better, a Beatrice. We got an Ariadne instead.
Dead on. But something tells me it's not enough to simply cite the sources Nolan might have used. Why not instead perform a sort of Inception on Inception by implanting more fruitful notions? Inception on Inception. I quite like that.
I feel I might have an idea of how we could proceed on that intriguing front. Our deepest subconscious, our third dream level so to speak, contains much more than daddy issues. Indeed, paternal issues are powerful precisely because they are iconically attached to a far more determinative interrelation. That truth is divine filiation, the mystical, inexpressible assurance that nothing can separate us from, I'll just go ahead and say it, the love of God. Is that too much of a cliché? I don't care. Deal with it. At any rate, such is the truth that the Holy Spirit incepts in our deepest subconscious, a truth that leads to the freedom that permits real actions of disinterested love in a physical reality that we, mercifully, do not generate ourselves.
Right on. Paraclete and Comforter have long been his. But Lord of the Subconscious might be a 21st century name we should consider bestowing upon the Holy Spirit in light of the themes popularized by Inception.
Bravo! Hell having been harrowed, the third person of the Trinity can effortlessly navigate the impossibly complex terrain of our own psyches.
Provided he is granted access.
But couldn't this all be considered a tacky Christianization of Hollywood?
Oh come on. I paid close to $10 for the film and I'll do whatever I want with it, thank you. It's simply like taking vitamin supplements with a less than fully nutritious meal.